What is good, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we will be doing a Black Ops 7 CDL tier list of all the teams that have been announced, some of the rumored teams, because some teams still haven't announced yet and the game is about to release, put them in S all the way to potentially D, and then see where I end up after Major 1, Major 2, and then after Champs and the season fully ends. Some people are going to agree with me, some will probably disagree with me, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Without further ado, let's get started. Austin Breach. This team will be Cammy, Purge, Snoopy, and Nasty. They got rid of Awakening and they got Nasty. Awakening and this team like kind of overachieved last year. They had a couple bomb outs where they placed 12th, but then they also got third at Champs. They had a couple pretty good tournaments, and the Champs was like their one where they stepped up and got third. They almost went to the winners finals of COD Champs, or the grand finals of COD Champs, only winning one hard point, which was crazy. I do think Nasty will add a little bit more respawn prowess to this team. He's a really good addition. He was great with Vancouver last year. Of course, Vancouver had 4 second places, but I think it's definitely an upgrade for this team. He'll bring a little bit more pace to their respawn and potentially just some more smarts as well, because Purge and Snoopy are good. They're still kind of like on the younger side of CDL players, but I think Purge has grown a lot as a player, very smart as well. I think Nasty is a great addition to this team. I think I'll put them like B for now. Then we got LA Thieves, which is now one of the new super teams. Scrap and Hydra, they retained them from last year. Then you have a Beezy from Atlanta Faze that they just got, which an Abeezy Hydra sub duo just sounds insane. That sounds like a dream team sub duo you make up. And then they also have Kenny. Kenny, of course, had a down year last year. The whole Optic drama at the beginning of the year, the 0-18, all the different roster changes. He ended up finding himself on ROKKR after that, which the team just did all right. Kenny definitely individually played better because he was struggling at moments on Optic Texas. Shotzi has kind of talked about this in the past, like they just weren't seen eye to eye. Kenny was thinking they should play one way, Shotzi thinking they should play another, and that's how it goes with teams. It happens with all teams, so it's not like an uncommon thing. But I will say Kenny landed himself on a great roster. I mean, Scrap has been one of the best ARs, if not the best AR, since he's been in the CDL. Same can be said with Paco. He's been one of the best, if not the best SMG player in every single year since he's been in the CDL. Actually, I mean, he started off a little slow. Like we saw the talent in Cold War and Vanguard, but then after that, he became Hydra, and he's just been insane. Abeezy, this is the crazy one. I never thought the Atlanta Faze trio would split up, or at least all of them. I thought there would be like a duo, like Simp and Abeezy would play their whole careers out together, teaming. But now they're not. So, I mean, I think this team's going to be insane. The one issue I have with this team, it's not the talent, it's not the comms, it's none of that. It's not the leadership. I know they're going to work hard in practice. Their play styles, they don't have the natural play styles to gel together. So there is going to be a period for this team, an adjustment period, where someone's going to need to play the hill a little bit more. Someone's going to need to plant the bomb. Someone's going to need to do this and that. Like, there's going to be an adjustment, but they're some of the best players that have ever played Call of Duty. So I think they're going to be really good. I'm going to put them in S. ROKKR. I like this roster. I'm not going to lie. I like this roster. The pickup of Riad, great pickup. A Riad Joe Deceive sub duo, a very young sub duo, but very talented. Like, we saw how good Riad's been. We saw just how much Joe improved from MW3 into a Black Ops 6, and he was one of the most underrated subs and impactful subs in the game. And then you have Kleenex switching to a flex. So that trio right there is just, might be like the fastest 2 subs, 1 AR, like trio. And the pace they're going to push is crazy. Then you have Insight, kind of just like the guy locking it down for the team, really good at search and destroy. But I think this team's going to be solid. I'm excited to see this team work together because they have tons of potential to make it to Sundays, even potentially win events. So I'm going to put them in A right now. And then we have Gentlemates, Tib, Envoy, Ghosty, and Neptune, which is a really weird roster. All great players, but it's just like one of those teams you've never would see these players playing together. Like, it just doesn't really make sense. But LAT, they got rid of Envoy and Ghosty, so they won 2 events last year. Sib had a down year. Individually, he played all right, but our team was just not good. I wasn't good. You know, it was bad. It was bad over there. And then you have Neptune, who was potentially a top 3 sub in the game. Like, at points, he was the best sub in the game, and you just saw his impact. So this team could literally win events, but they can also just have a bad stage and a bad major and then just blow it up. That's my biggest concern with this roster. It's not the talent, it's not the smarts, it's not the work ethic. Like, I know these guys all grind, they all go hard, they're all very talented as well. It's just the personalities, because at some point in the season, you're gonna have difficulties arise, you're gonna have problems arise. How do they deal with that? If they can get through that, fix it, keep working through it, and keep improving, this team has all the potential in the world, but it's just going to be tough to see. I'm excited for that team to watch them play just because, like I said, it's a big question mark. But I think I'm going to have this team, like, for now, I'd probably say like high B. We got Miami Heretics. They retained 3 players. Riad went to Toronto Koi, which there's going to be insane beef now. The whole Heretics and Koi organizations, all that beef is going to be just so fun whenever they play each other. There's going to be so much trash talking. Metals as a sub. They got Trakes as their new player. That's a new SMG. He's the first South American professional Call of Duty player, and he's from Argentina. So that's really cool to see someone get an opportunity that's never been from that region in the CDL now. So super excited to see Trakes play. I haven't personally watched much of his gameplay in Challengers, but he was obviously doing pretty well. He speaks Spanish alongside with the rest of the team because this team comms in Spanish. So they also have ROKKR and Super. And ROKKR and Super, when Miami got those players, they just instantly flipped the switch and became so good. Super became one of the best players in S&D. This team became one of the best search and destroy teams. Their respawn was so really good because they have ROKKR, who was probably the most dominant respawn player on their team. Then you have Riad, who would just pop off. Metals, when Metals pops off, they're winning for sure. And Super was just doing his thing. He was playing good. So this team is a really exciting roster to watch. I feel like it's very easy to support this Miami Heretics team. It's going to be crazy though, because Riad went to Toronto Koi. They're arch rivals. Riad was one of the best players on this team. When you lose a player as good as Riad and you pick up a player who is just from Challengers, has never played a pro match, it's just hard to rate them. You don't know how good Trakes is going to be. Trakes could either be insane and they could be a top 3 team, or he could just be okay and they're like a 6th or 8th. We don't know. But I definitely have faith in this team making some deep runs in the tournaments, especially because their S&D is so good. If they can figure out the respawn and get consistent at that, they're going to make it far. I'll put this team B. I don't know, ahead or behind Boston. Probably ahead because they have ROKKR Super from last year, and their respawn was just better than Boston, and their S&D was pretty good. And then we got ROKKR, or it's like, isn't like G2 Minnesota now? I think it's G2 Minnesota is their branding. Estriel, Kremp, Mamba, Skies. Interesting roster. I mean, I team with Kremp. I think Kremp's actually a really underrated player, very good at search. His respawn has improved a lot too. Estriel was on the ROKKR team last year, so that's the only player that they kept. The ROKKR team last year, it was hard to say who the best player was, because Estriel would be the best player for one stage. Then it would be Nero. Then it would be Geo. And then it'd be like, there was just no consistency with that team. But Estriel definitely has talent and he's good at search. They got Skies as their main AR, and then Mamba. Mamba is from the Omit team that knocked out Faze in EWC. I will say Mamba looks really good, and really I like his confidence. You could see when he plays just how confident he is and how like the belief he has in himself. I think he's going to be a really impactful rookie for this team, since most of these players are coming off of down years. Put them C for now. Yeah, I gotta put them C just because they haven't really shown and proven anything at least in the past year. But there is hope for this roster because I do think they have young players that can pop off, and then Caesar will kind of be like that in-game leader for them, like the captain, but then other young players who are really good. So I think they definitely have potential, but we just gotta see it. Oh, and this is where it gets good. This is another team that you just hear like, wait, who's the roster? Why is this team a roster? Just because you never thought it would happen. But Riad Falcons is Celium from Atlanta Faze is on Riad Falcons now. I'm sure most of you guys know that, but it's still crazy to say. Fred, Xnid, and Kismet. Just a very weird roster. All very talented players, though. I mean, there's been times where Celium's been the best AR in the game. Fred's been the best sub in the game. 99 Kismet was the best sub at some points at MW2. Xnid, we saw him improve so much just from his first season in the beginning of Black Ops 6 to now. So he's a grinder too. He works really hard. I'm really excited to see this team play because just because it's weird, a weird roster and a weird mix of people doesn't mean it won't work. But the sub players are Xnid and Pred. So X is going to be like that super aggressive, run it down. Pred's going to be the one on the cut, slaying. Celium's just going to be the one getting hella kills. And then Kismet is a flex now. So this is a big change for Kismet, but he has stated that he did want to be a flex because he's a really good and impactful SMG. And I think his pace on a flex will help this team just because there has been times in the past where people have said Celium and Pred play a little bit slower. X is kind of just running around like crazy. And then Kismet could also like bring some good pace to like balance this team out. This is a big year for them. I mean, Pred, he had a weird year last year. The years before that, he's been playing great at the championship level. And then Celium obviously just left the Faze trio, left Atlanta Faze, would win events every year. Now he's on Riad Falcons. Kismet was on LAG last year. He didn't play too bad individually, but that team just was kind of chalked. And Xnid, he's like the growing potential star maybe. We'll see how far he can take it because he has improved a ton. So it's a really exciting team to watch. it's just hard to see how they're gonna mesh right now. Just like, I have no idea. I have no idea. And the listening in the comms for this team might be hilarious. Celium and Exton trying to understand each other.
Yeah.
Yo, MC.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
What'd you say?
I'm good, and you?
I'm chilling.
What?
It's gonna be really funny. But team has a lot of potential. It just, can they click? Yeah, I'll put them behind Gentlemates in B for now. And then we got Optic Texas, team that from the Black Ops 6 season had potentially the craziest year of Call of Duty we've ever seen. Coming into Leo 6, they won a world championship. They made a roster change. Player came back. They went 0-18. They made another roster change and picked up a young rookie in Mercules. And then they became the best team in the world after that. So after Major 4, they hit the highest peak out of any team in Black Ops 6. Mercules is one of the best. I mean, no, Mercules is the best AR flex in the game since he came in. He got fourth, first, and then Shotzi, he got like unlocked and became the best SMG in the game at the end when they got Mercules. So like you had Merc and Shotzi, the best flex, the best sub, and then Dashy is like, it was crazy because Dashy was frying. Dashy was frying, especially in those big moments, like in the Champs Grand Finals and like in those big moments they needed him. He was dropping like 1.4s, going absolutely crazy. But Mercules and Shotzi were just making so many insane plays that Dashy's like 1.4s kind of got swept under the rug. So he was frying too. And then you had Hook, who was also frying. I mean, when you win 2 events in a row, everyone has to play well. So they were just by far the best team at the end of Black Ops 6. The only match they ever got close to losing was that Miami Heretics one, where, oh my God, Miami Heretics just broke down. They choked a 2-0 lead. They got reverse swept. In Control, they had a full spawn trap with 14-8 live count with 1 more point left, and somehow Optic clutched up and won it. But other than that, out of their like 12 series they played together, 9-10 series, they only lost that one after Major 4, just counting Champs and EWC. They only almost lost that one. So they hit new levels, new peaks that were never seen. This team is by far the most exciting team to watch, because if they can carry that same talent and momentum into the next game, they might win every event. Because I swear to God, that Mercules guy, I've played in some and I've watched those Optic show matches. That guy will just be like, yeah, I haven't played this COD before, and then just drop 50. He's just a demon. He goes to the TwitchCon 2v2 with Shotzi. They win that. Hydra and Scrap go up 2-0 in the finals. They reverse sweep them there. Like, this team just has the talent. They have the ice. They have the smarts. Optic Texas is just the best team going into this game. I don't care what Ake says. Optic Texas is the #1 team going into this game. And then you got Vancouver Surge. Now, this roster, honestly, I respect it, because this is what teams that are in like the bottom that don't have that much money to spend should be doing. They have Abe, Gwyn, Legend from Halo, and then Lunars from LAG. So Gwyn was on Carolina for a couple seasons. We saw like how good he could be, but his team never really had that much success. So he's kind of been having people call him like a kill horror and stuff like that. But we have to see how it plays out here, because now he has some like younger players around him who are also going to push pace. Maybe it will work out. But then you have Abe, who Zoom has been vouching for a lot, because I think Abe was a stallion. He played in EWC on Toronto and played really well. So that's exciting to have him. I think he's going to be a great player. And then you have Legend from Halo, who's like one of the best players in Halo for the past couple years. And now he's making the switch over to COD, because Halo's kind of dying. Just because the new game doesn't come out for a couple years, I think, or the tournaments don't come out for a couple years. So all the Halo players are trying to make the switch over. And then you have Lunars, who is also very young, but he joined that LAG team last year and they just weren't good. And he joined into a kind of a bad system. So it's hard to gauge how good of a player he really was. But this is all a young team, could be very talented. It could not work at all and they could be terrible, but this is what's going to make them fun to watch. And since they're all new players, like, it's going to be cool to see them develop as individuals and find their identity as a team as well. But this is literally just a shot in the dark, a question mark. One of those players, like let's say Abe turns out to be a top 5 player in the game, their team could be good. But let's say 2 of them could be really good, 2 top 10 players, who knows, they could be a top 4 team. But then they could also just not work out. They could just be kids with no game plan running around, no kind of semblance of how to play the game correctly. It could go bad. Or they could find their own play style to play really well and just have a new play style and dominate people. That's like the fun part about watching this team. So I'm very excited to watch this team. Excited to see Legend develop as a player, Abe, Gwyn, and Lunars. Because now it's just like your young players surrounded by talent. Let's see what you can do. So I'm excited for this team, but it's just hard to know how they're going to do it. So I'm going to have to put them in C for now. They're going to have to earn their respect, but they could be great. Who knows? Then you got Cloud9. The Cloud9 roster is supposed to be Afro, Beans, Mac, Vivid. So Afro. He's been a challenger for a couple seasons and frying over in the EU. Then you have Beans, who was on Toronto Ultra last year. He actually played pretty good, but he ended up getting dropped, which kind of caught some people off guard. I think a lot of people were thinking Insight was going to be dropped, but Beans got dropped. So he's joining Cloud9 with Afro. And then you have Mac and Vivid, who were on Omit. They became the best challenger team at the end of last year, and they won the last like 4 events. So this team has like the fundies. They have Afro, who's talented, Beans, who's talented, Mac, who's talented, Vivid, who's talented. The thing is with Mac could, like, you see him have those takeover games, but then like he'll just come in and do the dirty work. Like Mac for this team needs to be the star SMG that just runs it down, because he's such an unselfish person that he needs to be selfish. Be selfish because you have the talent to be great. That's what Mac needs to do for this team to be successful. It's going to be kind of tough. I think their SND might struggle a little bit. I feel like they don't have that many like solid SND players, so they're gonna need to work on that. But their respawn, they're gonna have their peaks where if they're all just popping off, they're gonna put up a good fight with these teams. So I'll put them at the top of C for now. And then we got Carolina Royal, excuse me, Royal Ravens. We have Slasher, Craze, Nero, and Lurk. Slasher, the old man in the league. I think he's like 30 or something. Slasher and I went pro together way back in 2014, and he's still playing, which is awesome to see. But Austin needs to do well. He needs to fry, because if you're old and have a bad match or two, they're going to be roasting the fuck out of you. That's just how it goes. And then Craze was on the Omit team as well. Best challenger team at the end of last year. They beat Faze Vegas, and he was taking over, but he's also very good at S&D, S&D grinder. He plays in all those chows and everything, so that's a good addition. Being good at S&D is very important, but he also has like that very aggressive play style in respawn modes as well, so that's going to be good. I'm excited to see him join the league, because he could definitely be one of those players that is around for a while and kind of climbs through the ranks. Then you have Nero, who's had an interesting couple of years. Like with Nero, he's very talented, but he just doesn't get the good placings. He pops off and drops 40 or 50, but then he also just be really slow for a game. He's just so hot or cold. He's good at S&D too. Like he'll have those S&D games where he drops like 15 kills and just completely takes over. If I'm Nero, I just want to focus on that consistency. And then you have Lurks, who I haven't seen play much, but Zuma and the Stallions have been vouching for him a lot. They've been saying he's next up. He's like the next Mercules. So I'm excited to see him play, but it's hard to like see how this team is going to play together. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But with the names, a lot of young talent in Craze and Lurks. Then you got the old head OG and Slasher, who's going to need to kind of guide these guys. So we'll see how they play together. Yeah, I don't even know where to put these cats. I don't even know. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's hard to like place them in the tier because it's just all the guess. They have like, this team has 3 rookies. This team has 2 rookies. This team has 1 rookie and a couple young players. This team, I don't think, it's so hard. Then we got Faze Vegas. No, it's Faze Vegas, I think. So Faze Vegas, new branding, new team. Simp is not teaming with Abizi after he's teamed with him his whole career. Simp is not teaming with Selim after he's teamed with him for when the CDL started. The roster is Simp, Draza, Abuza, and 04, and they've been getting roasted a lot. If you go to Zuma's chat and you type Faze Vegas, like, what do you think of them? The whole chat's like top 6 through top 8, but I don't think they're going to be that bad. The reason I think this team was going to be pretty damn solid and can win an event and make deep runs is, of course, they have Simp, who's one of the best COD players of all time. They have Draza, a great search and destroy player, solid respawn player, and he's just a grinder. He plays probably the most out of any other COD pro. Then you have 04 and Abuza, which when they joined that Seattle team or the Vancouver team, they turned it around. And the thing is, they're really good at search, but they're also very good at hardpoint. If you look at their past Vancouver rosters, their hardpoint has been very good. They've been one of the best teams and the most consistent teams. They always find their own way to play it, and teams just struggle against it. So the biggest issue with Faze last year, yeah, Faze struggled, but they still won 2 events. At the end of the year, they tailed off though. They had a bad champs and a bad EWC, which is ultimately why they made a change. But they're going to be a really good search and destroy team. They're going to be a really good hardpoint team as well, because Abuza and 04 are insane at hardpoint, and obviously Sim and Draws are very good at it too. So they're going to be really good in both those game modes, a top 3 team in both those game modes. And then, I mean, Overload's a new game mode, so we don't know. We don't know how that's going to play out. We don't know who's going to be the best team in Overload. So I think this team's honestly like the top 3 team for me. Like, I think I got Optic Texas going in number 1, LAT going in number 2, Faze Vegas 3, Koi 4. Like, I would say this is my top 4 clearly right here. I don't think there's any other teams you can really argue to be in the top 4, honestly. Like maybe Gentlemates, maybe Falcons, but I personally don't see it. So I like this B tier. Or should we put a team lower? I don't know if I want to put a team in D tier yet. It's so hard to put a team in D tier without seeing them play yet, because I'm actually like making tiers within the tiers. So I think this would be like the 5th best team. The Falcons would be the 6th best team. Heretics would be the 7th. The Boston would be the 8th. Yeah, I like it. We're doing it. Guys, if you made it to the end of the video, you are a real one. We will be revisiting tier lists throughout the season, maybe after Major 1, then later on in the year, like before champs, after champs, etc., all that stuff. This is tough to make without seeing any actual gameplay. So like I said, we will revisit this. But if you made it to the end of the video, you are a real one. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And as always, my name's Attach, and I'm out. Peace.